Hi, my name's Scott Creasy and welcome to Totally Awesome Close-Up. In 1978, in his book The World of Supermentalism Volume 1, Larry Becker introduced a stage routine he called Sum Total. The routine utilised a cleverly disguised but simple mathematical principle which enables the performer to predict an audience-generated six-digit number, a number in the hundreds of thousands. And over the years, a few different performers have come up with handlings of their own, and one of my favourites is Richard Osterlin's close-up version that he called Radio Sum Total. And I used that for quite a few years, but I was never 100% happy with the handling. And a couple of years back, I picked up a book called Simple Minded, written in 2004 by Greg R.C. And on page 17 of that book is Greg's version of Larry Becker's original stage routine, which Greg calls Awesome Total, and it is quite simply awesome. This is about as hands-off as you can get this routine. In fact, you're able to sit in the audience and watch the show while a volunteer does all the work on stage for you. It is simple, clean, and it fries brains. Now, if you don't have any of Greg's work, I suggest you go out and buy it now before it's out of print, because there is some great material in his books. And in my opinion, Awesome Total is worth more than the price of the book it's in. And there's 10 other really good routines in that book, so go out and buy it now. The thing is, I always thought, with an effect this strong, wouldn't it be great to be able to perform it more often? Wouldn't it be great to be able to perform it in close-up with minimal props, minimal handling, and a fast reset time which allows you to do it for table hopping? Well, welcome to Totally Awesome Close-Up. Now, before I go any further, before we get into the actual DVD, I'd like to say thank you to Greg. I've been sharing and bouncing mentalism ideas backwards and forwards with Greg for a year or more now, and he has given me his blessing and his permission to release my close-up version of his his Awesome Total routine, without that permission, this DVD wouldn't be available. So thank you very much, Greg, and I hope you get something out of this DVD. Thank you. So this is a basic performance of the routine as it would be seen by an audience. Now, I purposely haven't included live footage of me performing the routine, quite simply because I spend as much time or more time on scripting than I do on the actual mechanics behind an effect. And I don't think my premise and the way that I present this would suit your personality, so I'll leave that up to you. So here's the basic idea behind this effect. Okay, does somebody have a phone that's got a calculator on it? You do so then. You can be our accountant. Would you do me a favour and turn your phone on and make sure it is turned to the calculator, and we'll come back to you in a moment. You're going to be my accountant. We're going to play a game with numbers, and this is why we need somebody with a calculator. You can do this in your head, but we're going to play with some big numbers. And what I've got here are 7 cards. These are plain blank white cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. I will tell you the first 5 of these cards are a prediction. They have 5-digit numbers written on them. I'm not going to show you all 5 because I don't want you to be influenced by the numbers, but these 5 cards represent my prediction, and these 2 cards are just blank ones for us to write on. So if I place the blank cards back on the face and wrap the elastic band around, you can see that you don't have any visual clues as to what those 5 prediction numbers are. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these cards and we're going to create a target. So what I'm going to do is take the pen, and on here I'm going to write the word target. Okay, so this is our target card. These predictions can stay here. So what sort of target we're going to look for? We're going to look for a number. We want a number, not a 2-digit number, not a 3-digit number, not a 4-digit number. I want a big number. So we're going to go for a number between 100 and 200,000. Okay, so we're going to choose a number, or you're going to create a random number between 100,000 and 200,000. Well, we know it's going to be above 100,000, so I'll start by writing the number 1 for the 100,000. And would you, sir, choose a different number? Another number between 1 and 9. We've had number 1, so choose a different number. 6. That's great. Would you pass that to somebody else? And would you, sir, write at the side of that another number between 1 and 9? 4. Okay, and would you pass that to somebody else? And so would you write a different number between 1 and 9? And you, sir, another number. And you, sir, another number. So what we've got is our target number is 164,289. 164289. This is our target number, and that's what we're going to be aiming for. Now I'm going to take another card for you, sir, because you are our accountant, and I'm going to write a word on here for you. Okay, and the word I've written here is total. And the reason I've written the word total is because what you're going to do is take these 5 prediction cards that have got the 5-digit numbers on them, and you're going to add them all together using your calculator and write the total on the back of that card there. So if you would do that for me now, sir, turn your calculator on. There's your calculator. The first number is 53178. So I'm going to ask you to add these numbers together one at a time. 53178 plus 43211 plus 21377 plus 14120 plus the final number 32403 equals 164,289. Would you write that on there for me, sir? 164,289. 5 5-digit numbers, predictions that have been on the table since we started, added together using your calculator, equal 164,289, which of course is exactly the same as the 6-digit target number that you as an audience created between you. Thank you very much. Think about this next time you're playing the lottery. I'll allow you to keep these 2 cards as a souvenir. Before we get into the setup and handling, let's take a quick look at the very simple mathematical oddity that Larry Becker utilised for his original and brilliant concept. The idea is to take 4 different 5-digit numbers that, when added together, total 111,101. So that's 111111. You can use any 5-digit numbers you like, as long as when they're added together they equal 111,101. If you then allow your audience to create a 6-digit number between 100,000 and 200,000, so for example 184,623, and then subtract 1 from each digit of that number, you end up with a new 5-digit number, in this case 73512, or 73,512. Now if you add that new number to the other 4, your total will be the same as the random number generated by the audience, in this case 184,623. Okay, so this is the setup and the handling for Awesome Close-Up. You need 7 double blank cards cards. Now these can be business card stock, they can be playing card stock, so you could use bicycle stock. These are very cheap bridge size, like a plastic card stock that I buy online. I use a lot of these, so I buy these online from Amazon. This cost me about £10 for 1,000, and I get through a lot. So that's how I prefer to buy them. Being bridge size, they're slightly smaller, and I find them personally easier to handle. So you need 7 of these. The first 4, you write the 5-digit numbers, 4 sets of 5-digit numbers that, when added together, equal 111,101. So 111. 111. Now I'm using the ones here that Greg Arsay put in his book Simple Minded, but you can just make up your own numbers, as long as when they're all added together they equal 111,111. So those 4 cards with those 4 numbers are the first in your stack. Underneath them you've got another card with the word total written on it, and I would suggest that you hold this in your hand and you write the word total so that it looks like, because you're going to be miming writing that word later, but you're going to write a 5-digit number instead. And this is why I've chosen the word total. In Greg's book he uses the word accountant, and he sticks an accountant card on a person as they come up onto the audience. But this is a close-up version, and if you're writing the word accountant on a small card, it should have more letters than a 5-digit number. So I've taken it down to 5 letters total, so when you write it, it looks as though you're writing 5 characters or 5 letters. That goes on the face of the 4 number cards, and on top of that goes 2 blank cards. These cards are then wrapped in an elastic band, and the only other thing you need is a permanent marker, so a Sharpie pen. Now, in the stage version you would supply a calculator. I mean, you would be doing the calculations openly on a large whiteboard, but somebody in the audience here, or one of your spectators at the table, is going to do the calculations for you. So it would be best if they're using a calculator, but I don't want to carry a calculator with me. Somebody might think that my calculator is gaffed. Everybody these days, however, carries a smartphone. So you're going to use a person's smartphone, you're going to ask them to turn their phone on, and you're going to ask them to switch it to the calculator, and they're going to do the additions themselves. So as long as somebody's got a calculator on their phone, it's not a problem, and everybody has. And that's the setup. That's all that's required for this routine. You approach a table, and you can take out the cards. Now if you give the cards a flick from the behind, from the back, you can tell whether they're orientated number side up or number side down. You want them number side down for the first display. So give them a flick, just make sure they're number side down, and remove the elastic band and explain you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. And you're now going to say that on the cards, on the first 5 of the cards, you've written numbers, long 5-digit numbers. And you start to show them, and you show maybe the top 1, 2, I normally go to 3, and I flash them quickly, and I say, but I'm not going to show you all 5, because I do not want you to be influenced by the numbers that are on the cards. So you're counting the first 5 cards off, flashing the first 3, but I do not want you to be influenced by the numbers, so I'm not going to show you them all. This basically means that your card with the word total is now on the face of this stack. And you then take these 2 cards and say, and these 2 are just blank cards. Now if I put the blank cards on the face of these and wrap the elastic band around them, it's now not possible for anybody to see what the numbers are. Now when you put these down, you want to make sure that they're orientated so that the total word is this way up. So it's right inside, so that when you take that card out and flip it over, they can see the word total. It's just a small point, but you're going to be pretending to write on here. So it's important that when you take the card off, it's not upside down, if that makes sense. So what you've done is you've now shown that you have 7 cards, and 7 cards only. 5 of them have got numbers written on them, and you've flashed 3 of the numbers, and the other 2 are blank, and you've shown them clearly. This is hidden the total card. You now say, we're going to create a target. Lift up the top card, pull it out from under the elastic band towards yourself, flash the other side, then place it back on top of the stack. You now take the pen, and this is, for consistency, it's important that you follow the same moves each time. Turn the cards towards yourself, and on here you say, I'm going to write something. What you actually write is the word target. I've written a word on this card, and then turn the cards towards yourself, lift it up. It's easy to separate it from these because of the elastic band. Lift it up, take it out, and then spin it towards the audience so that they can see it. These cards are still blank, so I've written on here the word target. Place it on the table, drop these on the table. And now you say to each person, we're going to create a large number. I want a number that's bigger than a 2-digit, bigger than a 3-digit, bigger than a 4-digit. We're going to create a number, or you are going to create a number between 100,000 and 200,000. So we're going to start by creating that number by adding the number 1. And as in Greg's original, I say, okay, I want this number to be above 100,000. So we know the first number is going to be 1. The first digit of our number is going to be 1. So what I would now like you to do is take the pen and the card, and at the side of my number 1, I'd like you to write another digit between 1 and 9. We've already had 1, so from 2 to 9. This is just so that they don't put another 1 straight after this one. So let's say they put 8. They can hand that card to somebody else, and let's say the next person puts 4. You hand it to somebody else, let's say they say 6. Somebody else, let's say they say 5. And let's say the last person says 2. So you now say, what you've done is you've created a target number, and the target number is 6 digits, 184652. This is our target, and I place this on the table facing me. So I can see this number until the last moment. I now pick up the remaining cards, make sure that they're orientated with the numbers and the word total upwards. And now we're going to do the same thing again. I'm going to take out another card, I'm going to appear to write another word on it. What I actually do is I lift the top 2 cards so I can get my thumb under them. I pull both cards out, flash the back, and place them back on the top. And what this basically has done is means I've taken out the target card is behind this one. Sorry, the total card is behind this blank one on the top, and it's hidden as a double card. So I've taken the card out and flashed it. Now I'm going to pretend to write the word total on here, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to remove or subtract a 1 from each of these numbers and write the new number on here. Now we know that the first one doesn't exist anymore, because you take 1 off that, you've got 0. So I'm going to take a 1 from each of these numbers, and because I can see them, it's very easy to do. You don't need to rush. So the number I write on here would be, because this is an 8, if we look at this, we've got 843652. So the number I would write on here would be 73541. And this is why we've written the word total, because you're going to write 5 digits. So when you turn this towards yourself and you write this number on here, even if somebody's slightly watching your pen, they can see that you're writing 5 letters or 5 digits. And with this face towards you, there's no calculation, there's no memory work. You forget the 1, that's going to disappear anyway, and start from the 8. So I'm going to write something on this card for you. Don't tell them what you're going to write, and you go 7, 3, 5, 4, 1. And then immediately double lift these 2 cards, or pull them away from the elastic band and all the cards above them, and take out the total card and spin it round to show it. So what you've actually done is left the number you've just written on the top, and you've taken out what they think you've written, which says total, and you place this on the table with the pen. Now you give this to the person that's got the calculator, and you say, this total is for you to write a total on. And the total I'm going to ask you to write, and then you take these cards with the card you've just written on the bottom of the elastic band. So these 5 cards now appear to be wrapped in this elastic band, and this psychologically is very, very strong. They've only seen 7 cards, 2 of them are here, there's got to be 5 cards here, and there are. And then you immediately pull the elastic band off, which adds the card you've just written to the bottom of the stack, and you count these cards number side down onto the table, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you say to the gentleman, I would like you to take out your phone, and on the calculator I'd like you to add each of the numbers that are written on these cards together, and then write the total on the back of your total card. Now at this point you turn the target card number side down. I want them to really forget this number, but of course it's upside down, so they can't really concentrate on it while it's upside down. It's a long number, so not many people are going to remember it, but this is why I asked the actual spectators to write the number, because I want them to know there's no way you can switch that for a different number. So the target card goes number side down, you hand him the pen, and he takes out his calculator, his phone with his calculator on, opens it to the calculator, turns the top card number side up, 73541, this is the one that you've just written. He goes 73541 plus, takes the next card, takes the number 43211, 43211 plus, takes the next number 21377, 21377 plus, takes the next number 14120, takes the very last number 32403 and presses equals, and he gets 184652. Now the reason I have him write this on here, 184652, is because I want to leave that total card with the target card as a souvenir. So he's added the 5 numbers together, which to all intents and purposes were in the stack before you started. Of course there was only 4 of them and you've added 1 in. He's written that total on here, 184652, and you will now have people that remember. They'll see this number coming because they'll remember at least it's 184,000 to start with. You ask the other person to turn over the target number. The target, of course, matches the total. Place your elastic band back on these cards, slip them in the pocket, put your pen away, and you can leave these 2 cards, the target and the total, on the table with the audience. And if you're working table hopping, and I'm going to show you how to reset this in a few moments, but if you're working table hopping, you could do this 5 times at 5 different tables, and because this total, this target, is created by the people out there, your audience, you'll have 5 different 6-digit numbers at 5 different tables. So it is repeatable at different tables, as long as you don't leave the original numbers with them, because it's only by checking these numbers that they can find out that it's going to be, how this works. So as long as these are put away in your pocket, you're safe to leave the total and the target numbers with them. And that's Awesome Close-Up. So the reset for Awesome Close-Up is very, very simple for table hopping. You've got 2 cards that you're going to leave on the table. One says target, one says total. Those have got your numbers on that you use during the performance. And then you've got the 5 cards with the first 4 of which the numbers add up to 111,101. So you need to keep those. And this one is the one that you wrote during performance, and that will end up on the top. If you follow the procedure the way I've done it, that will end up on the top of your pile. So what I would normally do is I would take another 3 cards, 2 blank and a card with total written on it, and I'd make a stack of these in my pocket. So all I'd have to do is at the end of the routine is to reach into my pocket, count off the top 3 cards from the face, which would be the total and then the 2 blanks. I drop those on writing side up onto the numbers. I then slide out the back card, which is the one that you wrote during performance, ditch that in my other pocket, put the elastic band around the whole stack, put them both in my pocket with a pen, and you're set to go again. That's one way of doing it, but to be quite honest, there's 7 cards in this stack with an elastic band around them. They do not take up a lot of room. If I was working, say, a banquet hall with 10 tables, I would probably perform this at every other table. It is a strong effect, but I don't want to overuse it by performing it at every table. So I'd probably perform this at every other table. So for 10 tables, I would make up 5 of these. 5 full packs, stacks of 7 cards in your inside pocket. You know, when you come to the end of it, you take the cards off the table apart from these 2, ditch them out the way in your pocket, reach in and take out another set at the next table, and you're ready to go again. You're not carrying a calculator because you borrow somebody's smartphone and use their calculator. I don't think I've ever worked a table in the last few years where somebody has not got a phone. You know, it's getting to the stage nowadays where people are actually on their phone filming you while you're performing anyway. So somebody will have a phone with a calculator on it, so you do not need to provide your own. And that's the reset for Awesome Close-Up. So there you go. That's Totally Awesome Close-Up, inspired by Greg R.C.'s Awesome Total, which in turn was inspired by Larry Becker's original Sum Total. I hope you can use the routine. Thank you very much for watching.